Getting out in nature is just a way for me to clear my head and to kind of stop worrying about the everyday things that so many of us worry about. It's hard to describe. It's something that is, I think, intrinsic in humans. We are a part of nature. If we don't get outside and experience it, there's something missing.
The land trust movement really evolved out of the fact that government couldn't solve all our problems the way maybe we once perceived it did. And there's limited funds available for establishing local parks, state parks, federal parks. And so what land trusts do is they step into that void and they take the lands that are important to the community, that are important to the ecosystem, and they preserve them as open space.
I've always wanted to work for a land trust ever since my parents took me to national parks as a kid. I started hiking when I was 5. I remember doing Half Dome when I was 7. And just have such a love for nature. I wanted to protect nature for others and share that love, my love of nature, with others.
When you start on the journey of establishing a land trust, your goal is to preserve land, and you have a vision. And when you get that first piece of land that you're going to be conserving in perpetuity, this is such an exciting moment. It's like, here we are, we've started. In 2012, our first land acquisition project, the land trust acquired the Willoughby property in the Ventura River mouth. It did have a piece of the Ventura River along one edge. It was our first acquisition where we really were able to tie into our conservation mission. And the way we came to have this property in the river mouth was that we tracked down the owner of the property, Mr. Willoughby. He told us his family had owned quite a bit of land in Ventura, and this was the last piece left. And he was very excited that the family name would be attached to this property and that it would have a future as conservation land. So now we're able to provide a really wonderful outdoor experience for the public right along the Ventura River. We have trails, we have native vegetation, and we've also done quite a bit of restoration work to remove trash and remove arundo. That's the tall bamboo-like grass you see everywhere around the water in Southern California. It's an invasive species.
We removed about 20 acres just in this area.
And it sucks all the water out of the environment so the native plants can't thrive, and that's also one of the reasons that in the past you didn't see very much flow in the Ventura River, was the arundo was sipping it all up.
And our goal is to improve the water quality, maximize the amount of water that's in the river, and we're going to continue building trails off the bike path so that people can enjoy this incredible area, which happens to be one of the only areas in the Ventura River with year-round water.
There was a certain amount of skepticism when we established the organization that we would ever achieve our goals, and getting that first piece of property, no matter how small, just gave us that feeling, okay, we're on our way, it's going to happen. And we've seen a substantial change in the landscape since we've done our restoration work in the area. The property I'm standing on right now, this is the Land Trust Big Rock Preserve, and the name really harkens back to the past and the city's relationship to the Ventura River. The river was Ventura's playground, and the Big Rock was one of the really popular swimming holes on the river. And so in honor of that history, we've gone to great lengths to restore it as close as we can to the condition it was in at that time. And we've also planted over 1,000 trees at Big Rock Preserve. And communities have shown, especially this community here in Ventura, has shown that it's very interested in the environment that surrounds our town.
This nature preserve has been owned by the Conservancy and nurtured and restored over the last 5 years. But unfortunately, the Thomas Fire burned up a lot of what we had planted over the last 5 years, so we're starting anew.
Yeah, you'll see here the Thomas Fire really swept through here very rapidly. And the group that you'll see behind me here, many are the same people that helped us plant over 1,000 trees to beautify this area to begin with. We lost about 90% of those trees, and seeing this much support to restore this area is just so rewarding to me.
You know, I think the fire is a tremendous opportunity for the community to remember why we live in Ventura, you know, and then to get everybody together so that we can really, you know, bring this part of Ventura back to life, because Ventura is a rare gem and we don't have many places like this in California.
And one of the reasons I chose to come here was the natural beauty. I want that to be here not only for my children, but my children's children and generations to come.
Another day is dawning, a new song on the air.
And now we're coming through where all this area burned, and we're putting all the natives back in. We got coyote bush here, coyote bush there. It's all going to be coyote bush. And this is going to be a spot that animals can come, they can come hide out. Oh, and then over here, you know, we planted those trees by the entrance. We're going to be able to come back to those trees and say, hey, I'll be an old man. Look, oh, someone remember me? Remember when we planted these trees back here? We'll be coming back from years and years and years and seeing these plants that we planted, these trees that we planted. We're coming up. They'll get taller than us, but we'll come back and we'll recognize those trees.
Now, I can't imagine anything healthier than families enjoying nature together, and our nature preserves provide that.
So many people move to Ventura, I think, because it is such a beautiful part of the country, such a beautiful part of California, really special area, and we really want to keep it that way. People who volunteer will find that it's a really rewarding thing to do. It's a great group of people who volunteer and who work with us, and it's giving back to your community, and it's something that you can be proud of.
What's done is done, what's gone is gone, and my future's not my past. It's a new day for me. I feel it in my bones, I feel alive, I am set free. It's a new day for me, and nothing in this world will interfere.
The Ventura Land Trust is in the business of land conservation in the long term. Our goal is to assure that the lands we conserve are there for future generations. And that's also one of the reasons why we have to bring along the next generations, because they're going to be the ones who are carrying on the work that we've started. If we are successful in our mission, these lands will be protected forever, and that will have a huge impact on the community and the region.